Welcome to ForceProSports Laserforce Podcast with your host, Mr. Mischief.
Welcome to ForceProSports. This is a Laserforce podcast for players of Laserforce who play Space Marines 5, maybe some Laserball. There are some of you D&D fans out there. We see you, we love and appreciate you. My name is Mr. Mischief. I am a laser tag sports analyst, very amateur sports analyst, and today we are interviewing world champion and classic Loveland destroyer Snufflez from St. George, Utah. Welcome in, Snufflez.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. It's an honor. How are you?
Doing good. Could be doing a little better. Funny story, over the weekend I passed out at a Denny's and hit the back of my head and had to get stitches. So I have stitches in my skull right now.
Whoa. That's crazy.
But I'm fine. I'm good.
You good? Okay.
Yeah. I'll be less good when I see the medical bills, but for now.
Dude, seriously. Just random USA, healthcare side tangent. My wife almost died this summer. She had anaphylactic reaction. She was choking, and I just wanted to save her life. We called the ambulance. Boom, thousands of dollars. It's crazy. She wasn't even in there for a few hours. Ugh. I guess your life is just worth that, Snufflez. It's worth thousands of dollars just to get your head fixed.
We'll see. A part of me hopes that, a part of me thinks maybe they should have just, let me bleed out and let the universe decide my fate, but,
Did you call the ambulance or did someone call it for you?
Someone else did. Because, by the time I guess I woke up and was kind of conscious for a bit, a few minutes after I passed out. But I don't even remember anything until the ambulance was already there basically. So it's crazy.
So the fate was decided for you.
Yeah.
Well, where you can get back at the medical system is when you play scout and you attack enemy medics. You are actively destroying enemy team healthcare right on the spot.
No, I hadn't considered that. That's a very great point.
Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome. Today we are going to interview Snufflez about his story, and we're going to hear a little from him about how to get better at the game and a little about specifically the scout class. So I'll be mainly asking questions today. But I kind of want to start by reminiscing a bit about when I met you, Snufflez. It was West Coast 2018. You were on Saint DeChula, the hybrid team, Detroit, St. George, and Chula Vista. When you look at that roster now, it's a scary roster. You, Kodama, Baden, Scythe, and Terrence and Terrell from Detroit. But at the time, you and Kodama weren't the biggest names. This was pretty early in your guys' career, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was that your first tournament?
Yeah, that was my first tournament, yes. I think Kodama played at Nats the year before, and that's when he won Rookie of the Year. So he was still he was still very new as well. But yeah, that was my very first tournament.
How'd you get into the tournament scene?
It actually started when I was I want to say 10-ish years old. My older brothers, Tandor, Fonzarelli, some old names, they were friends with Thunder in high school who worked at Lasermania. I don't remember who exactly came. It might have been Cali guys or someone else. They came, taught them about Space Marines, and that's how members started. So I played a couple games of Space Marines when I was 10 years old, a handful.
Sure.
I remember there's one time around then too, we hosted a tournament, a smaller one with a couple teams. Mm-hmm. But then, so I played a bit then, and then there's a whole thing with the owner. I'm not too keen on the details, but they members night died for years and years. Mm-hmm. And then I think leading up to 2017, they like started playing again. And then by 2017, I think it was September because I just turned 18. Tandor invited me to start like playing with them weekly. So.
Gotcha. That's a really important fact for people to know, I think, is just like you probably have the largest family legacy of Laserforce players out of anybody in our tournament scene, as far as I can remember. Would you agree?
I would say so. I think there's 6 of us who have played in at least one tournament at this point. So, yeah.
For sure. So coming into that tournament, like, what was that like for you?
It was definitely nerve-wracking. I knew at the time, like, I was not a good player. I was fully aware of that. And when they told me I was going to be on the team with, like, who was considered, like, probably the 2 best players in the U.S. in Scythe and Baden, I was like, oh, my gosh, I have to pull my weight. I got to impress these guys. I can't do bad.
Oh,
sure enough, I did bad, and I did not pull my weight. And Baden was very vocal about that, which, like, all forgiven. But we'd come out of games, and it's like, oh, man, Snufflez is killing us. I was like, I'm so sorry, guys. My bad. But
how did that affect your performance through the week? Did it, like, were you able to get better throughout the week? Was it kind of a struggle?
I don't know if I necessarily got better during the tournament, but, like, for sure, like, right afterwards. And I feel like that's, like, the case for a lot of players as well, is, like, even if you feel like you're not doing better through a tournament, like, you will be doing better, I think, afterwards for the most part. I will say I played awful. I did kind of pop off against our main St. George team. I had a couple games where I did kind of chew their scouts apart. So those games felt good to me, but everything else yeah.
Nice. That's got to be vindicating. It's like there was a full St. George team, but you were kind of the 7th, or you didn't make that roster, it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough at the time.
That one felt very good. So
for sure. Feels good to be underestimated than to prove people wrong. I think that's pretty universal. I've been, while you've been talking, I've been trying to scour like Facebook and my files to find any photo evidence of like that 2018 team that you played on, or 2018 Snufflez, but I'm not finding it. That's okay.
I was gonna say, I don't know if we took a team picture or anything like that.
No, I don't think so. All I really got, like, I got a photo collection here. So there's young Caleb.
Oh my gosh, little melon.
Which that's kind of funny because, like, you two are, people will hear this because Caleb's podcast is going to come out like a couple weeks before yours. Caleb described that you two have quite the co-captaining bromance connection now. Like, is this when you first met Caleb?
It was, and I don't think we said a single word to each other. I'm going to be so honest. He was like a very angsty, competitive player who seemed just angry for most of it. And I was like, I'm just going to stay away from that guy.
For sure. Well, there's most of your team, but I guess you and Baden are not present.
Holy, is that Kodama?
That's Kodama, yeah.
That does not look like Kodama.
He's excited. He had a good tournament. Got bomb diffuser.
Heck yeah.
Anyway,
nuts.
Yeah, man, it's fun to look back at old photos. Time flies. Well, I want people to know where you started, and I want to say, like, with all due respect, our team, when coming into finals against your team, we literally had a strategy. Part of it was we were going to try to kill you out of the game early. Like that is where you were at in terms of skill. And I think we did kill you out early in that final game. I don't know if you remember that.
I honestly, I think I've kind of blocked those finals out of my memory. You know, we kind of got, you guys dumpstered us, and it's like, okay, just let's not even focus on that. Just push it out of the mind. So
What happened when you came back? Because things took off from there, right?
what do you mean?
Let me ask you this: when was that St. George West Coast that happened, where you were playing heavy and your team won?
That was 2019. Yes, it was the end of 2019.
Okay, I shared your low. I'm gonna share your high now. Okay,
Oh, boy.
talk about that St. George tournament.
Oh my gosh, let me think. It was, so it's like basically our A team. I think we had like a 7-man roster. No, we only did 6. I don't know. We had like our A team, and then there was a Sacramento-esque team. There's a Chula team, and then we had a team from Germany, which was really cool. And I don't know if I don't think they won a single game, which feels bad. But like just the fact that like a whole team came from Germany was like way sick. Yeah.
Wow.
That's when I first met El Diablo. Yeah.
Man, that's so cool. And this is why we should do random draws, because like would have been cool to let those guys actually play in games where they were competitive.
No, 100%. Like we just stomped everyone. Like it was like, okay, it's like, this is team that skate. And like through round play, it was like, we beat everyone. Chula beat everyone else. Sac beat Germany.
Sac beat Germany.
And that was just it, like 9-6, 3-0. Like you can see the matches. So it's like, okay, this is going to like, that's what the final standings is going to be. And then Sacramento did upset Chula in the finals and took second. So that was like the most exciting thing that happened. But like, it was still fun, but it was also like, it's just like games. It's just so easy that it's like,
Well, you pretty much got a chance to do what Loveland just got to do the year before.
yeah, pretty much. And like, it's cool to like win and all, but also it's kind of like, man, that was not competitive.
For sure. But look, man, like, hold on, where are you? I thought you... Looks like you didn't play in finals.
Oh, I think I was sick or something like that. Yeah.
Huh.
I think the last day of finals, I was sick or something, so I didn't play. That sounds right.
Well, I wasn't there for that tournament, but I remembered you from literally 1 year before. And then I hear about the tournament, I see the stats, and I come to find Snufflez is the tournament MVP with 18 games. After literally a year ago, you were a player where we thought, okay, Snufflez is the weak link, let's kill him out early. And my only question for you is, with 5 question marks and 5 exclamation points, how?
Honestly, I think the team was just like, okay, let Snufflez go do crazy, do his thing, and we'll sit back and back him up. And so that's why.
But you
it
had
kind
a
of
thing.
engineered it for me to kind of get top MVP. Like not deliberately saying it, but like in how the team was playing. Because it was like, this sounds like a brag. It's really not. We were just beating everyone so easily that like I was still like I was still in like the prove myself phase, because I had only been playing for like a little over a year at this point.
Yeah.
And so I was going like 100% effort every single game. And then the rest of my team was just like laid back and was like, yeah, we'll just shoot them. So
I'll give that like half credit, because you have to have something to put out there in the first place if you're going to be that role. You can't do that with just anybody. You can't just let anybody be the main attacking unit while everyone else sits back. It sounds like you really wanted to prove yourself. You were trying really hard that whole year. Like, is that what did it? Just a lot of practice?
I would say so, yeah. I think a big thing too was Nats was in Detroit that year. And leading up to it, they were still figuring out, who's going to be on the A team. And I was trying so hard because I wanted to make the A team so bad. And so I made the A team, which felt great. Mm-hmm. And then we played, and then we kind of, I felt like that Detroit tournament was kind of what really like solidified like the way I viewed the game and my mindset going forward after that. Because we did well in round play. We took a match off Brisbane, which was, crazy. Because I had only heard so many just like, this team's insane. This is the best team ever,
That's interesting.
Took a match off them. And like, I think we finished third in round play. And then we had some team drama and we bombed out early in finals. And that was like the moment that I was like, okay, like I need to be the person who can like carry a team. And so
interesting.
Yeah, that was what kind of started my trajectory of I think how I play the game and my play style.
Okay. So you had an experience where like the team kind of let you down. Not to say you didn't have anything to do with that or throwing people under the bus, but like if it makes you feel any better, before you guys crapped out in finals, we crapped out in finals to your team. I remember those games with with a pile of salt dumped on top of them. Yeah. But then yeah, it looks like Syracuse took you guys out.
Yeah, we dropped to the losers bracket against Sacramento by one shot.
No way.
Yeah, it's up a bit.
You're capping, bro.
What is it?
Right here, 59 points. Holy crap.
Yep. Yeah.
No.
Isn't that crazy?
That is so crazy. That was Sacramento doing the flip. They had run DK heavy all week. Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, man, that's rough. You were the team MVP right there, so it seemed maybe you felt like you were doing pretty good as far as MVP stats go, but
honestly, I didn't even know too much about MVP stats at that point, I don't think.
You just felt like I need to pull more weight.
Yeah.
You want to take it into your own hands a little more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I did think I do remember thinking like I was playing better than I thought I would at this tournament. So that felt good. But then we had like team issues. And then it's like, man, if I played a little better, literally, if I got one more shot off, we would have won this match and, stayed in the winner's bracket, yeah.
Man. No, I could see a tournament like that totally fueling your fire. And then COVID happened and like didn't see you again until Syracuse 2021. When you were the commander for St. George. Like you did finally become the main attacker for the team. Like what was it like going in knowing you were going to be a 3-hit?
I was very nervous, I would say, when like leading up in practice to this tournament. Like it was like, okay, me and Tandor are going to be 3 hits. That's kind of what we came to. Mm-hmm. But I thought it was going to be Tandor commander, me heavy, because I thought I was much better at heavy than commander, and I thought Tandor was better at commander than heavy. Mm-hmm. But Eves really wanted to run me commander, Tandor heavy. And I wasn't too confident in my commander yet. Frankly, I'm still not. But case aside, so I was very nervous that tournament, and I definitely feel like I thought I played okay. I definitely had some games where I cost my team the game, I would say, where I just did not perform well. But I was like, okay, our goal was to get second place, and we were in second through round play, and then Thunder got ran over by the Evil Train.
That's
and
right.
I wrecked my ankle the final game of round play against the last place team, right before finals.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah. And don't ask me why we didn't move me onto scout and put Caleb commander, because I feel like that's so obvious in hindsight, but we didn't, which just seems stupid to me.
Yeah, that feels bad against the last place team.
Yeah.
So I remember that y'all ended up taking third, I think. Because they still had you on commander with the bum ankle, huh? Sounds like it.
Yep.
And I don't mean to be rushing around from point to point. Like, in general, like, what was going on for you in your tag career at this point? What kind of things were you learning and focusing on?
At this point, it's just kind of understanding the game on a deep level. I do feel like a part of why I like kind of got really good really fast was I think my game knowledge outmatched my like game skill, if that makes sense. Like I had Thunder as a teacher who just understands the game on the craziest of levels. And I would not be half the player I'm right now if it wasn't for him and like what he taught me about the game. And so I felt like roughly around that point, I felt like I just understood the game on a really good level and like what to do and stuff. But I felt like, and I still kind of feel this way, my struggles is more the like mechanical side of the game, like the fast shots, the like, you know, coming around the walls and getting the shot off, like things like that. I feel like there are so many players who are just so much better than me at that. And so that's kind of been my focus recently on getting better at, but.
So beforehand, it was like you had a lot of really good mentorship from some of the best minds in the game. I mean, not only Thunder, who many people have praised him for his ability to like teach and think about the game, and I agree with it. Your brother's Tandor, and I have never seen him have a bad performance at a tournament.
Yeah, no, Tandor was also a great coach, and he also helped me a lot on like the mechanical side of it too. But like he would just like Thunder would like teach me about the game, and then Tandor would kind of more, I don't know how to describe it, like in-game challenge me on that stuff. Like we'd play against each other, and he says, and you know, we'd be mid-game shooting each other, and he'd be like, hey, what are you supposed to do now? Like asking me that, like in-game. And it was jarring at first, you know, because it was kind of like I would play on autopilot, but that really made me think like, oh, what, you know, in-game, like looking for things, like what am I supposed to be doing right now? And that definitely helped a lot too. So like I said, without him and Thunder, I'd be a fraction of the player I am, I think.
What would you say is the next important step in your story after Syracuse 21?
Ooh. I think part of it was like figuring out our team. And like kind of growing into like a leadership role on the team. Because we tried me commander in 21, and then for Loveland 22, obviously I played scout for Caleb, and trying to think, and then same thing, Nats 23. Yeah, I think it was like a leadership role. I kind of took on like mentoring some of our newer players, because there's a period of time when like we'd do 2 tag nights, like we'd have like the main members night on Thursday, and then we'd have more like newbie practice night on Tuesdays, and we played like not Space Marines, but like other game modes, occasionally Space Marines. And so I kind of ran that Tuesday night because I worked at Lasermania at the time, and so I just kind of I took on a leadership role doing that for sure. And it's just I think just kind of being a good team player and figuring out team stuff. I think that was kind of the biggest thing after that. And I'd say for 24 Nats, specifically, a big focus of mine was improving my mechanical play. So
it all kind of started with knowledge for you. Then you had to step in to become one of the leaders of the site, not just one of the followers. And then you were working more on the mechanics. That's kind of like the order of operations for you.
Yeah, which I feel like is kind of opposite of a lot of players. I feel like a lot of players just get really good mechanically at tag. I'd say Loveland specifically, you guys are very good, I think, mechanically.
We're very good
just
mechanically,
in general.
Yes.
Like you guys do some of the craziest stuff, which I've watched and I've been trying to incorporate into my own game. So, but yeah, that like Nats 24, because I knew I was playing heavy, and I was utterly terrified because I felt like how I play heavy and view the game versus the Loveland like third floor are like two completely different things. And I was like, I'm gonna get clobbered by whether it's Mischief or Turkey playing heavy. I'm gonna get clobbered by Kodama, Odin's, like, whoever. Because I was like, I feel like in that situation, mechanically, they're just better than me. And so that was like a very big focus of mine.
Yeah, for sure. That'd be kind of a fun, quick little question for you. It's fun to see how different cultures come together when we have tournaments, like how Loveland players interpret the game. Like you play in St. George, I play in Loveland. We both go to Syracuse, and we bring different like weird elements because of where we come from and how we learn the game. Loveland, like, yeah, if you're heavy, it's just one hallway. There's not like it's not like there aren't a lot of tactical concepts behind it. But in reality, the mechanical maneuvering becomes really important. Like getting that shot and not missing the shot. It's that simple sometimes. So we do emphasize it for sure. And we also tend to play really fast at the beginning, and we also struggle with getting resupplies and thinking about the game in a long-term sense since we're so elimination heavy. Like there's little ways you can tell we're Lovelanders. We come from that arena. What do you think St. George Arena does to you and your players? What kind of tendencies does it teach you? What are like some of the pros and cons that like St. George players tend to carry?
That is a very good question. This has kind of been a bit of a topic at our site recently, I will say. Just with Nats coming up, it's like, okay, like, what do we need to do to get better? Because we're going to this to win. I'd say at St. George, it's a very, very tiny arena. For those of you who haven't been there, it's so small. And so because of that, it's just a lot of kind of dogfighting. The arena's fairly open, so you can see a lot of what's happening. There are some like pretty enclosed places like blue or green base. But you can, there are many points where you can kind of see the majority of the field. And so I think in St. George, it's like if you get pushed out of your base, you can't just hide. You have to like fight. And so I think because of that, St. George players, I think we're pretty good at fighting back in those situations. Not just running away, but like staying and fighting and like holding ground or like reclaiming ground. I think an issue some of our players have though recently I've been noticing is like we've had a lot of games where like one team will slam the other team, like full map control, pushing them in their base. But that team is able to kind of turtle, get resupplies, and push people off. And then they completely flip the game and end up winning because the team that was winning the whole time is like not getting enough resupplies and pushing too much. So I also think we struggle with like balancing resupplies and like attacking because of that. I think that's probably the biggest thing.
That makes a lot of sense for both of us because our arenas are so elimination heavy. If you come from Detroit, they have like the lowest elimination rate of all the sites. And so it's not really rewarding you to exert all your resources to go for an elim or really push your advantage. If you take the field, stay full, keep control of the field, gather up more points, win by a hit diff, you know?
Yeah.
And I imagine it'd be fun to interview the Detroit players and ask them like, how did that affect you going into a place like St. George or Loveland? Was it difficult how unforgiving one misplay or getting pushed out of your base one time was? Cool. Yeah, thanks for answering that. You mentioned 2024, but I think got to go a step back. I want to ask you about 2023, the famed mission to take out Brisbane. I mean, do you have any stories from that you want to share? It's been a couple years now, but it's still pretty legendary.
Any stories? Oh shoot.
Maybe in particular like relating to your player growth.
Oh, player growth. I was going to go with
Yeah, I'll
funny, do not fly this airline story, but
I will totally take that too.
Okay, I forget what it's called. We had some travel troubles flying to New Zealand. I won't go into details, but basically my luggage did not get to a hotel in Auckland until the day of finals, after finals. Ugh. So I didn't even have my tag shoes. I was playing in these like loose, like they like you couldn't like they're like slip-ins. You couldn't even like tie them. And so I was playing in those all week, and that was just so fun. Let me tell you. Jetstar, that's the name.
Jetstar.
If you fly, don't fly Jetstar. That's all I'm gonna say. Cool. But I don't know, man. That week was just like so just anxiety induced and driven. Because man, we wanted to win so bad, and it was like day one. We play Brisbane, and they smack us. They win both games. I think they elanded us at least one, maybe both games. And it's like, dang, okay. What do we need to do? We got smacked, and then day two comes around, and we beat them both games, and it's like, oh, okay, sweet, like. That was the moment where it's like, oh, we can win this. I think that's the first time we genuinely thought as a team, like, hey, like this is winnable. We can beat them. We just beat them. And then day three, final day of round play, they beat us 2-0. It's like, damn it, you know? So going into like finals, it was so nerve-wracking, but like the whole team, we were all like, we still like tried to stay so positive. And like, it's cool because it was like every game we played after, we'd come out and we'd talk about it. You know, that's something our team did at West Coast 22 as well. Is we would have games where we'd smack a team, and then we'd come out and talk about it afterwards. And we're like, man, we did so bad that game. We did this and this and this wrong, and it's purely like growth mindset, you know, which was very helpful. And so coming into a team with like 3 different people and being able to do that still was like really cool. Like, and seeing, and like a nervous part I think we had, and I'm sure they kind of had, the 3 Cali guys we played with, was like kind of because we hadn't played together, like what was like the ego dynamic going to be like, that was a question for us, was like, are they going to think they know exactly what to do and we need to shut up and listen? Do we think that about them? But truly it was like, when we were talking about them leading up, it's like, hey, everyone needs to put ego aside and just do what the team needs to win. And I think everyone did that so well at the tournament and leading up to it. And that's such a big factor, I think, on why we win. So I think that in itself was just so cool to be a part of. Like, it's literally like 6 guys coming together with a dream. We went to kill God, like as a way to phrase it. That's what it felt like. It was Brisbane, like, it was the best of the best. And so even like rallying in finals, we beat them in the upper bracket. And so we went to, the grand finals. They beat us, and then they came up through losers bracket, beat us that first game. And going into that final game, I think I just talked about this the other day to Rockwood, because we were kind of talking about Nats and stuff. We were hanging out. And I was telling him, man, and he was asking me about this Nats and when we won. And it was like, we went into that second game against them, and that was the first game the whole tournament where I didn't feel nervous. It was like, I just like knew we were gonna win. I don't know how else to describe it. Like, every tournament game ever, I always just had anxiety, like in my stomach. Like I can feel it.
It's relatable.
But like we were like talking, even after getting smacked by them that first game, we're like, hey, let's do this, this, and this. DK came up kind of a crazy plan, but like a good plan that worked really well. And it's like, we're gonna win. And then we did. And just the whole experience is like, was just so cool. Like, honestly, like it was a life-changing experience.
Oh yeah.
And I'll be grateful for it, and for all the guys who played on our team. Slaughtermelon, Thunder, Fireball DK, Kodama, Odin's Fist, like, forever grateful. So
I can tell it meant a lot to you. It sounds like early on there was kind of a hope that you could beat Brisbane. I don't know if that was just you or if that was the whole team, but it seemed like as the evidence came there and you were actually starting to do it, the team all kind of bought in and encouraged each other.
Oh, 100%. Like we all thought we could, but until we actually did beat them, we were like, oh, this is actually like, we really actually can. It did start off as a hope, and then it was like, it became more than that. And I think once we realized that, we tried even just harder, which, yeah, I don't know. It's just, like, honestly, quite possibly like the best experience of my life, if I have to be honest. Like, because I love the game of laser tag. I love playing and being able to like win at the highest level. Because we were working so hard. We were in practice. You guys, we came out to play scrim games against you guys in your arena, which I thank you guys, because that helped us a lot. It genuinely did. Yeah, it was just absolutely incredible. So
you said it was life-changing. In what way was it life-changing?
I think for me, it was like, I've always been someone who's had a lot of self-doubt, which has in some ways been good, some ways been bad. I think when it comes to tag specifically, it's allowed me to be able to, I've always had this like, I'm not good enough mindset and I need to be better. That's been like my whole life, basically. And so in tag, it's been the same thing of like, nothing I do for me is ever good enough. Like I can play better, you know, I can always be better. And that can be a very slippery slope, and you can spiral with that kind of mentality. But I think if you can find a healthy balance and relationship with it, it can be such a good source of like getting better at the game. And just life in general. So for me, it was like, leading up to that, it's like, can I be a good enough tag player to win Nats? You know, like, I don't know. I haven't won Nats yet, so who knows? And then for me, it's like, I want to be the best player ever. I want to be better than Rusty. I want to be better than Taipan. And there I was going up against them. First, you know, I heard so many stories about them. I had played against Rusty in Detroit in 2019 and seen how good he was. And so for me, when we won, it was proving to myself, like, I can be good enough, you know, if I put my mind to something and work hard, I can do it. Cause I kid you not, like that whole year leading up to that tournament, every day, it was all I could think about. It was like almost an obsession. It was just like, what do I need to do to win Nats? I'm sure you guys probably could relate for 24 Nats. Because I could tell you guys definitely had the same fire of winning that we did for 23. And yeah, it's just like, it's just proving that we could do it. It's proving that Caleb, Thunder, and I, you know, the St. George guys, that we could do it, that we were good enough, you know, as a trio as well. That Caleb and I as a duo, you know, we're best friends, you know. We had so many late night talks about tag and winning. And so being able to prove that, like, hey, we can do it and we can do it together. That was what was life changing. Was just like that reassurance.
Thanks for opening up about that, man. I'm gonna pull up. There we are. I found your Facebook cover photo. I think that'll be a good one just to let the people see. There you are, U.S. West. All made it out across the world to accomplish the what was supposedly before was impossible, right? Mm-hmm. And you didn't know. Honestly, if it's not too insulting to say, I think out of the 6 players, you were the least proven coming into that tournament.
Oh, for sure. I agree.
I would have thought you might have had the most question marks put on you. Could Snufflez do it? Is he going to be able to pull his weight? And I'm so glad you're talking about it because, yeah, I relate on the self-doubt. And I know more players who struggle with it than players who don't. Plenty in the Loveland site. It's a brave thing, even going into a members night, it's a brave thing to step into the arena and put yourself out there. Basically, like, you could get your butt kicked and everyone's going to see it on the scoreboard. You can come out with you could die early. You could let your team down. It's a risk that you might look really bad every time you go into that arena. So much more when you go to a tournament. So much more when you go to a high stakes tournament, when you're on the A team, when you've been trusted by people. And you're thinking, like, you don't know if you'll do it. I suppose if you've done it 100 times before, you have a little more confidence. But if it's your first time, it's like, that seems like a really common theme of your story, Snufflez. It's just so many times you hadn't done it yet, but you were asked to do it. And you battled the self-doubt and anxiety to find a way to let it push you further and become a better player in the moment and accomplish things that you weren't sure you could do. That's fucking cool.
It is cool. I would agree.
What advice do
You
you
know,
have? Oh, go ahead. I'll ask you that in a minute.
I was gonna say, yeah, we have plenty of guys here who are struggling with self-doubt. You know, some guys on our A team, and like that's been a big thing. Has been like being like, hey, like you are a good player. Like, yes, you can be better. We all can be better. I can be better. Caleb can be better. It's like I think you need to find a good balance of, I am a good player. I do, you know, these things well. Like I can, you know, but I still can be better. There's a balance to that. If you just tell yourself you're a bad player, it's going to be hard to get better. And if you tell yourself you're a really good player and, you know, you're the best ever, you're probably not really going to get better either, because you don't subconsciously like think you need to. I think there's a balance that you need to find for that.
You're actually you've already hit on it. Growth mindset versus fixed mindset. Like, did when you said those terms, like, did you know it was a studied psychological phenomena?
I mean, I know that now, but I don't know if I did like years ago. I don't know.
Actually, this is all mental health related stuff, and that right there is growth mindset and fixed mindset. So they've done like brain scans. If you believe that you can change, that your abilities are not fixed, then growth mindset, like the brain scans show far more brain activity. Your brain is acting as though it can change and evolve. But if you determine that your ability is fixed, like, oh, I'm not good enough, that's an absolute. Like, you can't gain experience points, you can't level up, you can't change. You just are not good enough. Or even if you're
Right.
like, I'm the best, I can't learn anything new, I already know everything. Fixed mindset, your brain stops learning compared to someone with the mindset you've talked about.
Yeah, I'm no scientist, but I can say that definitely applied to me, so I believe it.
I don't know.
That's cool though.
It is like you've been using it. You are a living example of thinking that maybe I'm not good enough, but I can get better and I can reach those heights. And then that allowed you, like, if you didn't think that way, you certainly wouldn't have done it, you know?
Oh yeah, 100%. I agree with that.
Yeah. So thank you. You're setting a good example for the kiddos. Learn from Snufflez, people.
Okay.
Can we talk about 2024 real quick?
Absolutely.
You were a great sport in that event, by the way. We did have the fire in our eyes. We really wanted it bad. We were able to pull it off. You were the first one to hug us all, so thank you for that. That's the mark of a true winner right there. Tell us a little about coming into 24. You were the defending champion. You had finally overcome this hurdle of self-doubt. Like, what was it like for you stepping into that leadership role, leading that team? What was your mindset? I don't know. Give us a little scoop on the inside scoop.
I would say it's probably the most fun I had at a tournament, even though it was stressful. Because I was there to win. I wanted to win really bad. Like playing the leadership role for some newer guys and Chaser and Metalface. It was a lot of fun. Overall, I would say it was definitely, the games against you guys were always very intense. You could definitely, the like feeling of like just wanting to beat the other team, like that competitiveness, like just wanting to be better. I felt like every time you stepped into the arena between our teams, that was like palpable. Like you could just feel the energy, which was cool. I do love some good competitiveness. And then there were times I think what probably got a little heated. You know, I know like you guys obviously were trying to prove yourselves. I don't think the Loveland So Easy thing helped with that. And so, you know, you guys, yeah, it was good. You guys beat us fair and square. And it's like, damn. But I honestly want to give kudos to you guys because I do think from 2022 West Coast to 24 Nats, like your players, you guys improved so much, like a ton. And that was like a big question mark, was like, could they like be that good, which you guys obviously were. I mean, even in like 22, I remember I know you guys, you ended like, I think 4th in that. I thought you guys were like the toughest team to play against at that tournament. From us, our team felt that way. And so we were surprised when you guys fell to that. And I think that result also might have gotten in our mind a bit of like, yeah, they'll be good. We'll beat them, you know? But like you guys really showed out. Like seriously, you got so much better. Josiah, I think, Calkins improved so much in those years, and he played so well that tournament. Like Bromley, all you guys. So kudos to you guys.
Thank you very much. Mm-hmm. Now we already spent a whole year gloating and celebrating.
As we should.
As we should. If you win internationals, celebrate that shit, okay? Like that doesn't just happen. You're the winner for the next year. That doesn't just happen. Like you're gonna look back 10 years from then and be like, I'm glad that I enjoyed my time as the champion. But those were tough games. The finals match against us was epic, but I want to talk about getting into finals, right? You were coming in, you predicted your team was going to be first in the power rankings show.
I did.
And when you came in, you had you lost a match to Cali A, but you took one game off of them. In the winners bracket, you lost 6-0, and they knocked you into the losers bracket. So they had beat you 3 out of 4 games coming into the semifinals of the whole tournament. And you had just fought Loveland B 2 games in a row. So you were fighting your way up the gauntlet. And then you basically have to beat Cali A or get eliminated into 3rd place. What was it like going into that match? If you remember, I know that was a year and a half ago now.
Oh, I remember. I was mad. I was very mad when we lost both games to them in the upper bracket because, like, throughout most of the tournament, I genuinely think we were not playing as a team as good as we were. Like I strongly felt like across the board we were just kind of underperforming of what I thought we could be. And so like going into that match, I think we kind of had like a team meeting beforehand of like, just like, guys, like, I think straight up the words we used were like, guys, we're better than this team. We got to play like it. We're not playing like we are. And so we talked a bit. At that point, we were pretty certain we were not beating you guys. We were like, guys, we're better than Cali, but like the Loveland team, they're going to beat us if we make finals. We at that point, we were aware enough that we were like, yeah, we're not going to beat them. Maybe slim chance we could.
You did literally take a game off of us.
We did, but like you guys were also still like getting better throughout the tournament. And so going into that match against Cali, we were like, we were like, guys, this is like the match to like prove ourselves. Like, this is what we want to win really bad. And so like we had a game plan, like we talked extensively about it. Like everyone just go as hard as you can for these games. Which we did, and then we won the first game, and I knew we were gonna win the second one.
Mind if I share a little highlight? Maybe you can walk us through a little of your thought process. They haven't changed the upper names yet, but this was the first game, and I got Caleb's take on this. Caleb knew he was going to basically go up to top floor, fight Kodama heavy as the commander, and he knew he was going to lose that because Kodama was the heavy. There was just not a way he was going to like really break through, at least reliably. So we see Caleb doing that, but we see, I believe that's you running across there. You're kind of hard to see. Now you're up here, but like these next couple of minutes is just Snufflez wreckage. Like what? Do you remember this?
Oh, I do. I think this is probably the game I remember the most from this tournament.
I'm trying to follow you with my mouse, but like, what was your mindset coming into this one? What was the game plan? Well,
obviously Caleb and I swapped. We didn't swap positions, but we swapped floors we were playing on. We did some testing against some other teams with it throughout the tournament, and it went well for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
And like the idea I think was like I was struggling against like Kodama and you on the third floor. Like you guys were beating me on that straight up. But the second floor, like I played the second floor of Loveland a lot, and I was like, I can win that. As a heavy, I can 100% just clear that and win that. I felt so much more comfortable on second than third. And so we made the swap, you know. Caleb, I knew like even commander against heavy, he could at least hold Kodama off from wrecking our team from third floor, which he did a great job of that. And that allowed me to kind of just do my thing. I do want to say, I know his score isn't super high, but Logan, like this front part, me and him kind of had a game plan, and he executed it so well, and it set me up to like score a lot of points. So it's not reflective in the score, but Logan did so good, like this initial like 2 minutes of this game, exactly what I needed him to do. So I want credit to go to him as well for that.
Absolutely. This wasn't just you carrying the game. It was a team strategy. Honestly, like if I could even comment about the way you guys modeled this team, look, I ranked you guys third in the power rankings. The reason isn't because I think you and Caleb are worse than like Kodama and Dill. Frankly, the reason was because I didn't believe that Metal Face Chaser and even Meds coming in as a Nats rookie had the experience to keep up with these other players who I'd seen time after time. Like the one hits on this California A team are stacked. Applesauce, Death Knight, Old Man Sand, and Sweets. And they played like it too all week. I knew that you and Caleb would have to pull a lot of weight, but that wasn't exactly how you won this. You formed a really cohesive strategy that was well thought out, and not just that, but actually executed by your teammates. Like your other 5 teammates were very selfless players this tournament, I think. I think I did a lot for your team. So I'm not surprised that Metalface like followed the instructions. Him playing within the confines of the team strategy is what made him play so dang well this tournament, I think.
Yes. I'd agree. It's nice when you have players who are bought in to like the plan and who trust you, which Metalface Chaser and Meds did. I'm trying to. Was it this game or the next one? Oh no, it was. Even like look at Chaser, like ammo, like oh no, okay, never mind. This is further in.
This is further in.
Even Jace, like in some of these games, was popping off. Like you can see it on the cameras at some points. Like he'll like run up to the third floor and he like resets people. I truly think everyone like in this match specifically, just like everyone just played their best and so well.
Yeah, for sure.
So that was very cool to see.
I'm gonna give you the one moment here. Like I think this is the big moment for you, right at 9 minutes. So you're up here with your resupply. You are playing third floor now. They're shoved in the box. Kodama takes a resupply and does not backtrack, and you see it or you hear it, whatever it is, and you punish him. And they run across the third floor here. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say it's kind of exactly that. We're staring at each other, and I'm like, okay, I'm getting resupplied right now. He's getting resupplied right
There's
now.
Chaser popping off. He's getting them all as they run by.
Yeah. That was one of the moments. And I was like, if I just run in, what are the odds his lights are just off and I kick them all out? And so
it was just a gamble.
No, it really was. I was like, he's not backtracking. I was like, he might I didn't know if his lights were on or not. I was like, if he's getting resupplied, which I think he needs right now and he would be doing, like, decent chance I just run in and his lights are off. And that's what happened.
I don't like to question you and Kodama because you're both such great players and, in my opinion, in a non-Loveland arena, better than me. But I don't understand why you don't backtrack every single time you get a resupply. Except for, like, I can understand conserving your energy because you're tired, but, like, that's why I do it every single time I get resupplied. I'm not letting this happen to me.
Yeah. Well, I think, I don't know, for me, it's also like when I play heavy on third floor, it's like I'm looking at him and I'm trying to see, oh, he's getting resupplied, and I try to time my resupply with the enemy heavies. Like he gets it and it's like, okay, shoot me immediately. And there's no point in backtracking then. You can't always tell that, obviously.
Sure.
And so I don't know if he kind of has the same thought process of like, oh, we're both getting resupply, so it's fine. And I just made that switch of, oh, so why don't I just go push him? His lights are probably off.
Yeah, you set a pattern, then you broke it. Like, just brilliant.
Because honestly, I could say it's lazy play on his end, but I think I don't even backtrack every single time there. So
no, you don't. Neither of you do.
Yeah.
And you still wreck a lot of face, but it's just one little thing that we do differently that I question. So
no, and I think that's good on you guys. I think that's kind of something I could do better. Is I do play kind of lazy at times when I shouldn't. So
anyway, you come out of this game with a 9K. 9-3, bringing yourselves into the second game. Well executed, definitely not as close this time. You're really good early. You trap sweets out, and yeah, then you make it to finals. So huge moment for you and your team.
Yeah, no, that was definitely like, yeah, that felt so good. I wouldn't say it was the equivalent to winning Nats, but it was like, hey, we beat this team who's getting the better of us throughout the tournament. You know, and we beat them to make the finals. It's like, yeah, I know, like, I think Jason Logan, Metalface and Chaser especially, to them, that was like basically worth it. They're like, we didn't win Nats, but we did beat them, which like they didn't think we could. Because we were losing to them. And so, yeah, definitely the highlight, I'd say.
For sure. I would argue, like, no, it's not the same as winning Nats, but, like, it's really quite the honor to play in finals. Like, history is going to remember it as it was Loveland Phoenix versus Cedar City Sentinels. Like, that was the big matchup to end the tournament. It just shows that you had what it took to make it to finals. So I think it's a huge success for the Cedar City site in general.
Yeah, I would agree.
All right, How much time do I got left with you? Yeah,
as long as you want it. Yeah, I ain't got nothing. Today's my day off, so
Let's talk some specifics. You said like getting better at the game and talking some scout. Like, tell me a little about how would you recommend players get better at the game? What do you have for us?
yes. I think, first of all, there's like the obvious things. If you can, play weekly, play on members' nights, go to tournaments. Mm-hmm. That's like the obvious stuff. And I do think tournament play, like playing at tournaments, is the best way to get better, straight up. I think another big thing is like find something specific you want to work on and focus on that thing, even if it comes at a cost of kind of doing bad in other areas, or even if it comes at the cost of potentially losing games at practice night. So for me, a big thing of mine has been, I've been trying to do better with my hit diff. That's been something I've been focusing on specifically as a 3-hit. I play kind of, for me, it's like, I think as a 3-hit, I focus on the enemy 3-hits a lot, and I get tagged by the scouts a lot because of it. I play very aggressive and stuff and kind of ignore scouts. Not ignore them, but like, I let them shoot me more than I should, type of deal. And so just last night we had members night and we were playing a game, and we did the randomizer, the system, randomizer, and I got heavy, and there was 3 hits were a bit imbalanced in my favor, and it's like, I could have played that game and I could have steamrolled and won the game in 3 minutes because of how it was, teams were balanced. But I thought to myself, what do we learn from that? If I just face roll this game, does anyone learn anything? I know I don't. The rest of my team, if everyone plays a 5-minute game, realistically, what do you learn? My very younger brother, who's like 13, was playing Commander on my team, and he's very new to the scene, playing with us. And I was like, he's not going to learn anything. He's not going to, he's not going to get better if I just take over this game. And so I think I scored like a 12K heavy game. I missed a target, but like we almost lost that game because I was playing very conservative, just keeping people out of the base and farming points and trying to work on my hit diff. And it ended up being a really good game. What could have been an absolute steamroll became like, people like, hey, that is it. I felt like we talk after each game, like things we learned, things we didn't learn. Maybe it was a bad game. Like what made that game bad? Why didn't we learn anything? We try to talk about that after every game.
Okay.
And so
can I like, I want to hear your other points. Can I ask you some questions about that?
Yeah, of course.
I'm gonna just call out no one in particular. There's a little bit of we have a problem at Loveland. We have many problems at Loveland, but I love all of you. We are having a little bit of an issue right now over disagreements about what is good practice. So there are different ideas of what high quality practice looks like for the teams going, players disagreeing on the teams. And some people essentially, like if the games aren't being formed a certain way, whether it's like they want a certain structure, they want to play certain roles, they want like only the whole arena, never first floor only, or never mixing up any of the elements like that. They don't feel like they learn anything, and I'm hearing and empathizing with them. Like, okay, you feel like you learn nothing in these games that aren't like the perfect conditions for you. But I imagine you have something to say about that. And I'd kind of like to hear your opinion. What would you say to people who feel like unless it's the perfect conditions, you can't learn anything?
I would say I disagree. I'd say there are some games well, you don't learn anything. We have that. Like, yeah, that I can empathize with that. That definitely happens. But yeah. Is it like learning new thing, like learning something, or just like improving in general? Like, because you can have a game where maybe you don't learn anything, but if you have something you're practicing, you can practice that thing and still get better at it, even if you quote unquote don't learn anything. That's still good practice. I think though you kind of have to be mindfully thoughtful about it, like in-game thinking about it, like, hey, I'm focusing on this thing, getting better at it, you know? And so do things that are going to help you get better at that. If your issue is, I'm struggling to farm points, stop being so aggressive and attacking, take a step back. Even if it costs your team the game, or even if you feel like it's like you're missing out on an opportunity to go get like 3 meta kits or something, that's okay. Like, focus on that specific thing. And I think that will just like do so many wonders for you.
For sure. It's very likely that I misspoke a little for the players I'm talking about. I think more what they might be saying is, unless I'm practicing my role with my team against a team of 6 using the full arena, like when you add elements that just take away from what it's supposed to be, quote unquote, like it just throws them off. They have a hard time.
Oh, okay.
It's like, I want to practice with my team and the context it's supposed to be in. So maybe it's more they're trying to say, I want to learn how to play with my team. But like, I completely agree with what you're saying. Like, I know I'm here to interview you, but in the 2 months before Internationals 2024, I went to every Laserball night, and I played on Friday nights with the Gen Pub, like literally 3 times a week for like 6 or 8 weeks. And no, not every rep is equal. Getting to play with my team in my role, I learned a bunch of really important stuff then. But all the other stuff was just like building my muscle memory, helping me like refine the rough edges. Sometimes what we're trying to do is like, we might run 6 versus 8 players against our A team. And it's just because like we don't have good enough players to put a good 6 up against them. So we make it 8. And that obviously changes the game. Like, okay, I know you're not going to have 8 targets to shoot in an actual Nats game. Totally get it. This is it's like a training exercise. What muscles do you exercise when you put these ankle weights on? Like, that's how I view it. Mm-hmm. Or if we do first floor only, I know this is really small. It's smaller than St. George, but it's forcing you to use certain muscles in a heavy way. And it's like, there are multiple things to grow inside of you, not just building team synergy. And maybe team synergy is really important, but you can't always have it at the same time. Like, you have to take what you're given sometimes. We don't have perfect training conditions.
Right. Agreed. Yeah, I think if we're talking about like we want to play our team, but we're not getting good practice, we can definitely relate. Like, if our A team as it is right now tries to play a competitive game against the rest of our players who show up, we elim them in 5 minutes every game, and it wouldn't be good. I think that's going to be a struggle probably forever for like A teams everywhere. I think something we've been doing is we've been kind of splitting the team up and kind of focusing on like specific pairings and that teamwork of it, not just the team as a whole, but like, have our resupply and our heavy playing together against the commander and the scouts. And so the heavy and the resupply are focusing specifically on their scene, how they play, whereas the commander and the scouts are specifically focusing on how those 3 play. You can still get good team practice from that, I think. We even do it where we do like me and Caleb 3 hits, meds as our resupply, and then the other half goes on the other team. And we kind of stack the games against us, me and Caleb, and we feel like we get great practice from those, even though it's not a whole A team. Like we make the games, like it makes the games challenging for me and Caleb, because even though we're playing 3 hits, I think most of the games where we've done that, we've lost, because we'll take like newer players as our scouts, and it becomes a very, very hard. And I feel like have learned a ton from those games. And like even the guys on the other side, it's like, yeah, they're beating us, but like the games are very close. They just have like the edge on us, and they still think they're learning. So yeah, I sympathize. It's very hard to play with your whole team in practice and get what feels like good practice where you're not just stomping. I can sympathize with that. You kind of have to just work around that. I don't know. That one's very tough.
It is. Yeah. No, I appreciate you sharing what you guys do. Like, yeah, in an ideal world, we would teleport to the site that we're going to play at for Nats, and we would put an equally skilled or better team against your full team. Like, that would be the best practice, obviously. Yeah. But we work with what we got. I just kind of thought of a metaphor. Like, I have this dumbbell here, and maybe this dumbbell is like all the weight I have to work with. Sometimes that's like the rest of your player base, whatever your B team is, or even just the players you're throwing together. Okay? If I do full body exercises, I use all my limbs and my back and my chest to move this thing. It's so easy for me. If I want to get any muscle with this dumbbell, I have to focus it into just one arm. I can do it for my arm. I can do it for one shoulder. I can, Yeah. And when you were doing like, okay, the synergy between you and Caleb, obviously it's not perfect, but you can build synergy with you and Caleb in that exercise by putting you two under tension. If you bring the full team, there's no tension. You don't grow at all.
100%. And I do feel like with those practice games we've been trying, it has, because it's like, how do we balance our resupplies with each other? We both need resupplies at the same time. We're both desperate. Okay, what do we do? Like, yeah, it has been good. It's been very good practice. And sometimes you might just need to play. You might have to swap off and like play a position you probably won't be playing for a game or two to help, your other teammate. Let them play their position and to make it equal. Like in those games, we put Metal Face and Chaser as the opponent 3 hits. And that's likely not what they'll be playing at Nats coming up. They're kind of backups in those positions. Say like me or Caleb gets injured and we can't play 3 hits. They're kind of the backups. But I mean, they still feel like they're getting good stuff out of it. Because even if that's not the positions they're going to be playing, they can feel the struggle with that position and kind of understand, what does this position need? Say Logan is probably mostly going to be playing scout first, most likely. He's playing heavy, but it's like, he can kind of, by playing heavy, realize what does the heavy need from his scouts,
Yeah, absolutely.
And he can still incorporate that into his game. I would say after my first tournament, 2018, we started doing structured like games, not every game, but like we had 2 teams. I was playing commander on one, and my team, we lost, I'm pretty sure, almost every single game in those structured games, 4 months that we did it. And I don't feel like I learned how to play commander very well. I learned how to play heavy very well from playing commander. That's why I think my heavy skills really came in from playing commander, because I would get shut out from the enemy heavy and would just get clobbered every game, but I paid attention to what he was doing and how he was able to kind of, and I realized like his mistakes too once we got further in, and I did get a little better at Commander because I realized, oh, he did this wrong. Like he should have done this. That's why I felt like I really got good at Heavy was from playing Commander. So I do think there is value in that, is, observing, seeing what other people are doing, what they're doing well against you specifically. I still think you can get good practice in that way.
I want to keep going, but I gotta pull up this movie clip, because it is like such a perfect example. So basically, I think what you're saying is that you can find something to learn in all situations.
Yes, I really do think you can.
Like, you just gotta look for it. So I gotta pull up. I'm a big Rocky fan, and in Rocky 4, he's in Russia. He's training to fight the Russian boxer, who's got Ivan Drago, who's got like all the best equipment and all the best steroids. So here's the big training montage. He's literally got like scientists helping engineer his body. And Rocky, he's got like an old farmhouse that he's staying at with no equipment. So this training montage is like him. He's helping this guy pull a horse out of the snow to get a workout in. We keep going. What is he doing? He's like, this is crazy with no context. He's just like pulling a toboggan.
This is what you need to do to get better at laser tag. This right here. Go out in the snow in your underwear. Save a horse.
Chop down trees.
Chop trees.
But really, like, it all matters. I think Kodama was really big on, like, do yoga. Yoga really helps you with tag. I think playing video games, play team sports, like I don't know what the kids play, Overwatch. Like, play Overwatch with your friends and learn some team mechanics through that. Like, you can learn how to be a better tag player in all kinds of ways, even outside the arena.
100%.
Is there anything outside of tag that has helped make you, if there was one thing outside of tag that's made you a better tag player, what would you credit?
Ooh, good question. I would say I think like working out is definitely probably the thing that comes to mind first. Like just working, like whether it's muscle training or like running, building up like endurance and stuff, that matters, especially in like a 5-day Nats tournaments. You're gonna be tired towards the end, and so I can see why yoga also helps with that. It's not the same thing, but you're engaging muscles, stretching them out, that type of deal. So I can see that. I think like tactical video games, because I do think laser tag, like Space Marines, is a very tactical game from my perspective. Thunder would always, he often considers it very similar to chess. And he has some like examples and explanations which will just blow your mind when you hear them. But learning to think about the game more strategically by playing strategy games, that definitely helps. I would say one thing, Valorant. I don't really play it much anymore, but I played it for a while. And even that, it's like you're learning, like that game teaches you like learn to hold angles, which is actually, I think, very also important in tag. It's like what, like in whether it's Overwatch or like in Valorant, it's like on this map, like this like alleyway is very important based on how the map's built. Tag arenas are the same way. It's the same concept. Certain areas like you need control of kind of in order to have map control, which helps you, shoot more people, score more points, have pressure. Yeah, that definitely teaches you that.
Heck yeah. Thanks for those examples.
Mm-hmm. Anything you have that outside tag that you feel has helped you?
So many things. I feel like a lot of it's been mental.
Mm-hmm.
Like doing my own therapy and personal work has helped me gain. Like, I think the biggest thing that I do outside of tag to help me with tag is craft a calm mind, and a huge part of that is working out. I don't actually work out my upper body too much, but I'm a runner now, and I only ever became a runner because I started training for Nats 2019 like 7 years ago. I hated running. I hated it. I would only run during tag. And then I was like, okay, I should train a little bit. And you know what? It turns out when you run a lot, it becomes easier and it becomes like walking. And I love walking. So now I can run and it feels like walking. And I never have to feel tired when I play tag, basically. And when I'm tired, when I play tag, I stop thinking and I'm a way worse player. I hate being tired when I play tag. I want to make good choices. So that's the best thing I do.
No, that's a great example.
Yeah. And I've done personal work. Like, my ego used to be a lot more wrapped up in winning. And now if somebody who I perceive is not as good as me beats me, first of all, that idea of someone being worse than me or better than me is really loose now. Like, you can beat people that are better than you, and you can lose to people that are worse than you. Cool. And it doesn't, like, send me into a spiral as much anyway.
That's good. Now, I like the point about like the better, worse than you. I think that's like another way of improving is like maybe there's someone who you think is like worse than you. They probably do something that's better than you.
Oh,
you can take that.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like you can take that. And I do that all the time. I'm like, hey, even if I'm the same way. I try not to think about it like, oh, I'm better than them. They're better than me. It's like, I can beat anyone. That's my mindset. I can beat anyone, and if I play sloppy, if I play bad, anyone can beat me. And so I gotta play strict. I gotta play, at full effort to not let that happen. And so, like, taking things from other people's game, just small things. It's like, oh, he does this. I don't do that. Why don't I do that? Because that's working really well for him. And then, like, why does that work well for him? Should I incorporate that? Yeah. And then, incorporate it. Be looking for, like, I don't know. I'm always just looking to get better. It's a blessing and a curse. But
well, it makes you better. It clearly works for you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people view you very highly, and you have fought the best, and you are one of the best, objectively, whether you agree with me or not. And the fact that you're sitting here saying, well, like, I'll learn from anybody, and I'm always growing, and I'm like, that's humility. And gosh, does it pay off to be humble. The moment you stop being humble, we got fixed mindset over here,
I can be a bit egotistical at times. You can ask my players; they'll tell you. But for the most part, yeah.
Same. I can I share a quick story on like learning from people? I want to highlight this. I've never had like a really good opportunity, but this is the Love and Laser Tag socials leaderboards. And if we go over to Heavy and we organize by MVP, we've had some new additions. 44 MVP from Simply OK. Pretty good. Snufflez, you're up there with 38.63. I am barely holding on to my lead over you. But there's a very special one from Rook or Eli 37. That may not surprise people, but what might surprise you is this happened about 2 years ago. Like, this was before he ever made it onto Loveland B in Nats 2024, like in his first 6 months of playing. So from my perspective, Eli was a pretty dang new player. And let's see, matched up against Lizzie and Sabo. When was this? That couldn't have been 2025. Hold on. That must be his most recent one. Let me see if I can find out what it was. Was it this one? No, maybe it wasn't that long ago. I would just about, no, it has to be 24 because I was asking him for advice for the A team, basically. So I don't know if I got the right one or not. I would have been on the other team. I would have been on the other team getting crushed by him. This is embarrassing. Sorry, folks.
No, you're fine. Basically, so he had a very good game.
I mean, he had what I thought was the second highest MVP heavy game at the site at the time. And it was because as like a 6-month in player, he basically just invented a strategy that none of us had ever thought of before, got his team to do it. And it was a strategy that enabled the heavy to like not have to defend the resupply and go kill the enemy medic. And he got like 9 or 10 medic hits and killed us out of the game. And it would be easy to cope, to blame people, to whatever excuse I might want to come up with to account for the fact that a very new player just killed my team out of the game. I think it's easy for the ego to do that. But instead, I went to him and I was like, hey, how'd you do that? And he told me the plan. Yeah. And I'm like, can I ask you for some more? Like, if you have any more ideas for openings, would you share them with me? Because I was trying to put together ideas for the A team for 24. Like, and we didn't end up using that one, but it was literally like in my playbook. It was something that we could have gone to if we were really punching up against a team that we were having trouble beating.
So. Yeah, that just goes to show, like, you can find good stuff anywhere. And I think, like, that also was probably a sign of, like, what kind of player he could be, because I thought he played very well this last tournament. So. Yeah,
just players who can break the game. I hope I can find it before this podcast is over, but I'll not get too distracted by it. I wanted to ask,
we believe in it.
I wanted to ask if there was any other tips you had or points you had about getting better at the game.
I'd say there's one more I have, which might be like the one that's helped me the most overall has been, it's just one word: why.
Why?
Why does the heavy protect the resupply? Why does the medic sit in the corner? You know, and then beyond that, why did so-and-so do X and Y? You know, when you're playing games against people, like, oh, why did this person nuke at this time? Go ask them. This was something Thunder kind of instilled in me, was always just be like questioning why people are doing what they're doing and ask them. Because it's you can just learn so much just from understanding other people's reasonings for things, how other people's brains work, how they see the game, you know? It will only just expand on like your own idea of how to play. And on top of that, it also questions you to like, you know, why don't I try doing this game? I've done things, I think, that in games that are very like unorthodox and not typical, which can backfire, and maybe you learn, oh, that's why you don't do that thing. But it's like, now I know, you know, now I know why as an ammo, I'm not running forward, trying to score as many points as possible, being aggressive. Well, then the rest of my team doesn't have ammo if I'm too busy, you know? Simple things like that, but also just asking people why, questioning it. I know it sounds so simple, but truly that has like helped me so much in terms of just improving. It's just wondering why. And then like trying things out, you know? Oh, he does this differently than I do it, you know, how he does this thing. Ask him why. Try it out. Maybe you end up liking it, you know? This player, you know, maybe I'm a very aggressive player. Take someone like Thunder. Thunder's not a very aggressive player, but boy, can he score a lot of points. Can he be an absolute nuisance, even without being aggressive, you know? Well, Thunder, why do you play Commander the way you play it? Why do you do this thing, you know, versus me doing this? And then he'd tell me. And it's like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. And then I try it. I try incorporating it into my game. And maybe it works for him, and I just don't like it. Maybe it doesn't work for me. But I know that now. It's something I've tried, I've tested, and it's something I like understand. And that also helps you with like synergy, especially with understanding how your teammates think about the game. It's like you can know what your teammates are gonna do on situations by just like through doing that. It's like, you know, I think I have really good synergy with Thunder because I understand how he thinks. It's like I know what he's gonna do. I think that's why we were so like deadly as a scout duo. Is we both just knew exactly what the other person would do in X situation, and we could play off that. And I think it's kind of the same thing with Caleb. I think Caleb and I play the game very similarly in a lot of ways, and we've always kind of had a natural, what's the word I'm looking for? Synergy because of it. Philosophy, natural synergy in game, like even dating back to 21 in Syracuse when we first played on the tournament together. There was moments in that game where we would look at each other and we knew the game plan. We didn't say anything, and you know, but just asking why. It's the simplest, easiest thing ever, and it can do so much for you.
That's my favorite one right now. Just because I've never ever really thought about it. Like I've definitely thought of why. Like I've thought of, maybe we should innovate the roles. I'm like, let's not be afraid to do things that people haven't done before because we think it's the right way to play. But what about it I haven't ever thought of is, what if I take someone else's play style and I just put it on like a coat? Like, let's just try it. Let's try playing exactly how Sergeant Tucker plays or how the Rook plays. By the way, I just listed like the two most opposite scout styles I could possibly list.
Yeah.
And I float somewhere in the middle there. I like to think that I could imitate either of them. But like, what would I learn if I tried to basically role play as that person and use their full strategy for a game without trying to like necessarily pick it apart or do it my way? Because why do I have the golden strategy? Why do I know best? That's a good why.
That's another great one. Why do I play the way I play? That can lead you to, that led me down a whole rabbit hole. You know, that's something I think everyone should question at one point is, why do I play the way I play the game?
I don't have a good answer for you, man. It's just how I do it. It's what I think is best, but I'm not necessarily there, like where I can just assume that.
Right, but there's a reason why you think it's the best way to play. Why is that? You don't have to. This is something that can take
I'll write an
long
essay
time
and
to
get back
go
to
through.
you.
Yeah, like it can take a long time to figure that one out. But no, that's Good question.
I'm just gonna later tonight, just know that Luke is staring at his ceiling, eyes wide open. Why do I do what I do? I'm going to just have an existential crisis tonight.
I was going to say, try not to have an existential crisis. Yeah, but
I'll come out of it freed from my insistence on doing it my way, hopefully. Interesting. That's really good. Thanks for sharing that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, maybe to wrap up, can we talk Scout?
Absolutely.
Why did you say Scout in particular as the class you wanted to talk about?
I think because it's the one I'm best at by a significant margin. Most of the tournaments I've played, I've been a Scout. And I do think this is my ego showing. I do think I'm one of the best Scouts in the world. I'm just going to say that. Any other position, yeah, I'm okay, fine, whatever. I'm very confident. I'm proud of how I play Scout personally. I feel like I'm just confident in it. And it's my favorite position to play. It's fun.
Why?
There you go. You're catching on. Like I said, it's the position I by far played the most. I've had the most reps on it, which means I've been able to learn the most on it because I've just played it the most. It's also the reason why I think it's my favorite is Scout's that fun position where the game's not about you, but a good Scout can really change the game. And so it's like, well, if we lose 3-hit diff, oh, my medic bled lives, not my fault. But if we win, it's like, oh, I got a 9K Scout score, so we won because of that.
I'm just curious. All right, that's pretty good. Up there, just below Thunder. Yeah, okay. Pretty great hit diff. 1.63 on average. Do you think that's because of you, or is that also like a St. George thing? I think these Scout hit diffs are generally higher than in Loveland across the board.
I definitely think it's an arena thing. It's very easy in St. George to get like 2 shots into a 3-hit and they have no idea where you are.
And you got the highest average 3-hit hits. Sorry, go ahead.
I thought it was Thunder.
Your highest on, average medic, not 3-hit.
Oh, okay.
Thunder's got y'all lapped on 3-hit hits.
Yeah, that's Thunder's playstyle in a nutshell.
Okay. So would you describe yourself as more, like, how would you describe your style? What descriptors would you give it?
As Scout?
Yeah.
I would say my style of Scout is almost like a chameleon. Not necessarily blending into the environment, but blending into what the team needs that game. I think at a base level, that's what Scout's all about. It's not about one specific thing. It's about what does the team need from you specifically that game, and you are kind of that piece to do that. The game is, as a Scout, the game is not about you. The game is not about you. You are the least important person on the team. And because of that, it also, I don't have a good way of describing it. I'm terrible at describing things if you haven't noticed. But by being the least important player on the team, you can flip it to make yourself the most important person on the team. In the sense that, like, the focus isn't on you, typically, right? The focus is on getting medic hits, on putting down the enemy heavy, on putting down the enemy commander, them getting their nukes, them getting special points. When I play Scout, it's like every single game, I think, what does the team need from me? And that can change during the game. You know, you can think before the game, okay, we have a very good commander. Our heavies maybe gonna, so you're gonna have a backline issue probably, but you'll have a good commander. What do you have to do in that play? You know, in that situation, what's the best way to play? For example, in like, I would say, what is it, 22 West Coast? My whole game plan was Thunder was like kind of the more back scout. I was the more forward scout, playing off of Caleb. And that's my whole plan was I do whatever I have to do to get Caleb as many points and special points as possible to set him up to succeed. That was the game plan every single game. You know, it wasn't about me getting points. It's about Caleb getting points. How do I set him up to get points? There were plenty of times, well, I don't know if you remember, I would be holding my gun up like this. Caleb, use me as a reset. Caleb, shoot me. Use me as a reset to get one more special point, you know, to get, you know, to juice as much as possible. Because Caleb, he was a very good commander player in his home arena. And that it's like he's going to carry the game for us. My job was to, in a way, kind of carry him to carry the game. And then, like, there was one specific game where that changed during the game. We were playing against the Cali team. Mm-hmm. And we were struggling. Like, it was a very, 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 I think it was during the pods. I think it was one of those games. We were struggling against them. And like,
this is 24 now?
No, this is 22. This is 22.
Okay.
Still.
Mm-hmm.
And like, Caleb and Tandor specifically were just struggling. I remember going back for resupplies at one point, and they were kind of getting into it. They were a bit heated because they were struggling really bad. And like, they're like, I only have this points and blah, blah, blah. And I looked at my phaser, and I had pretty good points. I was like, they're struggling. I'm doing really well. Like, I was farming people, but they were struggling. That was the situation where I realized, oh, I'm the carry of this game. Like, I have to carry this game. And I literally remember thinking, if I can score over 10K this game, I think we'll win it. And then I scored over 10K, I top scored the game, and we elined them with like less than a minute left. You know, and obviously you want to be adaptable in every game, regardless of position, but I think scout is most important. Your priorities can change like that. It's like 1 minute you need to be with the commander who's pushing the enemy team. Oh, he needs backup. You got to go back him up. Oh, he's kind of off to the side, farming points. Oh, they're pushing our resupply. Where do I need to be in order to help defend? You know, that to me is just, scout is all about kind of adaptability. Tangent over, but.
Oh, it was a really good tangent. And I honestly, just for my own ego's sake, I think about scout this way. Like, look at your team, look at the situation. What roles do you need to fill? What gaps do you need to fill? So in that sense, I kind of get what you're saying about how you are one of the most important players. Like, without you filling that gap, everyone else kind of fails.
Yes.
But I do not have the experience you have, like by a long shot. My one scout tournament was in 23, and you seem like you can do a whole bunch of different things exceptionally well. So when you do try to fill those gaps, like, I think that's something that makes you unique, is that you tend to be pretty successful at that. I don't know if you agree with that, but like, being able to get 10K is not something that many people have been able to do on Scout. Like that's
no, it's hard.
It's like a club, you know. If you can get 10K on Scout, that's like an exclusive club. I guess, like, suppose that you have a player who's been playing for about a year, and they can understand. This is kind of like you early on. Okay, knowledge base, I got to be a chameleon. But like, I don't even know my own play style. I struggle to push in on other teams. I struggle to like know when to leave the resupply area. Like, how do you be a chameleon in earlier stages of your career? Or is it something that you shouldn't focus on yet?
I don't think it's something you should focus on. It's like you said, I'm very good at doing that sort of thing. I'm very good at it because I spent years not being good at it. And it took trial and error to get to that point. And that's the most frustrating part, is to be a really good player at this game, you gotta play a lot. You gotta struggle, Not a single player, every player started off new and bad. Literally everyone. Rusty, the GOAT, greatest of all time, when he started off, I bet he sucked. That's just how it goes, Mm-hmm. And he's the GOAT now because he's been playing for 50 years or whatever it is, longer than I've been alive. It's like, yeah, no wonder he's so freaking good. He has so much experience. And you can tell he loves the game. I loved the episode you had him on where he kind of talked about how he plays and his mindset. That was such a good episode because it's like, listening to that, it's like, it became so apparent like why he is as good as he is. He says, when I play laser tag, I can't turn it off. I have to go full effort. And like, he says, I can't turn it off. That's just how I am, And so for someone who's new, yeah, don't worry about that. You should just be playing and trying to understand the game. When I talk about playing like a chameleon, I'd say that's more higher tier scout play. So if you've been playing for a few years, then you should be figuring that out. But I think with that is like just general game knowledge and understanding of the game is how you've learned to kind of play that way, to be that chameleon. And just, yeah, like I said, intentionally, working on that and practicing it. Like, okay, this, like you said, recognizing start of the game. Okay, this is kind of a team dynamic. This is probably how it's going to go. And then being ready to adapt when you need to,
Right in that moment, the thought of you back in like 2019 getting some instructions from Tandor came to mind. The idea that like you'd be in the middle of the game, you'd be kind of probably doing what is really organic for you, and then he would ask you, hey, what should you be doing? And the idea that you would stop and think and pivot your decisions based on like taking a second to be cerebral for a moment, like to be perceptive and actually think, what do I need to do rather than just go? It seems like this is a core piece of your chameleon style, that you're actually analyzing the game and then you kind of shapeshift based on what is needed.
Yeah, no, it definitely taught me to do that. And because it's very easy, I think, to be playing and just kind of autopilot, especially when you experience, like I struggle with just autopiloting at times, even now, like, even though I've done that. But for some reason, Scout is like the one where like, that's the one where I like naturally just start thinking like, well, what do I need to do? It's like Commander, I kind of autopilot. Heavy, I kind of autopilot. Resupplies, I kind of autopilot. But for some reason, and I think maybe it's just because I played so much Scout that I'm like thinking about it, but also like intuition based doing it. That's like, oh, I should be doing this right now. It's because I played it so much that that's kind of my intuition as well. But yeah, no, I think that exercise definitely did help with that. I don't know. Do you have? How do you think you play? Are you very like autopilot, or do you think you're very much like in game, like questioning, analyzing, asking those questions?
That's a good question. I was just thinking about how you you probably have to think about things more early on, but the more experience you have, the more it becomes second nature.
Yes.
Like some of the synergies.
I think that's what I was trying to get at, but.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, talk more about that then.
Oh, no, like the second nature, that's kind of the term I was trying to think of when I was
second
talking
nature.
just now, and it was escaping me, but.
Well, so I don't know. I did play a scout game against you in the most recent random draw, and you beat me. Like, it was a team game. But I remember how there were very few moments I could really make aggressive pushes against you. You were pushing into us pretty heavy, so I perceived that from your end, you saw you needed to be a tip of the spear at that moment. You may not remember that game. I think you were red side.
No, I do remember that game. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Who was our commander? Was it Ban?
I can try to find it. So that might be good context, because the way you play scout is based around the context of the team situation in the game. So I'll look for that real quick. But yeah, I don't know. I would say in Loveland it's easier for me to like recognize quickly what I should do and adapt. And I like to think that I'm flexible enough that I am willing to be full sniper and full kicking down the front door based on what the team needs. But maybe I'm a little narrow in that that's maybe one of the only spectrums I think on. I'm like, proximity to enemy players is kind of the scale of scout. I wonder what other scales there are.
Okay, I think I found the game.
Yeah, I think you can share your screen.
Okay, yeah, I think this is the one you're talking about.
Okay, yeah, found it on my end. Whew, you dropped 10K on me. Nice.
Yeah. No, this was definitely the game because I think going into this game, my thought was, okay, Ender Commander, this was day one of the tournament. This was his first time in Loveland. So I was like, okay, I expect he'll probably struggle a bit, which like, he got 10K, he did great. And then we had Sally B, F tier, as the other scout, and then we had Sabo as heavy. And Sabo said, he's like, hey guys, I struggle as heavy. It's my worst position. So with all those three things, I was like, okay, I have to, yeah, I think it was exactly that. I was like, I need to be the tip of the spear. I need to be very aggressive this game.
Dude, you
and kind of play more like a commander than a scout.
Yeah. Okay, I see. That makes sense. All due respect to Metalface, yeah, you got 41 hits on them. That's crazy. And then 16-7 on me. I was definitely struggling. That was like the first day of the tournament.
Sorry, Logan.
I think under the context of my team, I was just having a really hard time figuring out where or like how I was supposed to play around them. So,
which is hard in a random draw. It's not easy. It's very difficult.
I mean, like, how did you adapt to that? Because this was my first random draw, and I'm so used to getting to like build a team, build a structure, have knowledge. Like, how do you adapt quicker to that, I suppose? Maybe that's a hard question to answer.
That is tough to answer. I think something our team did right after teams were pulled and like teams kind of went off, we definitely discussed like, hey, what positions are people comfortable on? What positions do people struggle on? That's like one of the first things we talked about. And so I think that definitely helped a lot, was like understanding that. Sally B did great this tournament. She was fantastic. But I was like, the expectation was she'll still probably struggle, this game. So I've got to pull my weight as a scout. And it's like, talking to your team, which you guys did a lot of. The podcast hasn't come out yet, but Logan was Logan was saying like he loved how much his team was just, even though you guys were struggling, how much you guys were trying to get better and how like good spirited you guys were about it. He said that like it made it a very fun tournament, despite, you know.
Good. I loved working with him, and I'm excited there's an episode coming out because there's just not much content right now. When the resupply stopped making podcasts, the scene feels like so dry all of a sudden.
Yeah. No, I agree.
No more breaks, guys. Come on.
Yeah, what the heck?
Put us in the backpack.
Only we can do that.
Oh man.
But yeah, no, it's tough. It's tough adapting to a team, like a brand new team like that, you know, with players who maybe you haven't played with, because it's. I don't know if I have a good answer for that, honestly. It's just you kind of have to figure it out as you go. I don't know.
I think I think the big reason that, like, I called you and Caleb out and was like, come tell us what you do that makes you so good. And like you're telling me that a huge reason that you're good is that you ask why and you listen to people, you take ideas from everywhere. You don't make it about you. You're willing to enable other players to be good apart from just yourself. And like you admit, you kind of struggle on just like the mechanical trading front, and that's something that you're working on. So, and I think Nats 24 shows like you don't need to be mechanically like the best to win. Like you were beating up Kodama at times during those final games, and I consider him probably like the most or one of the most mechanically gifted players of all time. There's so much to it about positioning and theory. And I don't know, man. Like, my perception is that you mix strong theory with synergy with risk-taking. Do you associate risk-taking with you? I consider you a very high-tempo player. Like, you just ball out.
Yes.
You don't care who's in front of you. You're going for it.
Yeah, which like does come to bite me at times. I think especially I've been finding recently on Commander is when I do that, like I can do that in other positions, but when I do that as Commander, for some reason, it's like I struggle a lot playing that way. And so that's been a recent thing, is figuring out why that is at Commander specifically. But no, yes, I would agree. I'm a very, very high risk player. Just because, yeah.
Okay.
I agree.
I think, good.
Yeah.
Good.
I was going to say, you kind of talked a minute about how I play on the podcast you did with Nolan. And I was like, yeah, that's spot on, I would say. So. Yeah,
and I suppose what I'm going to try to imitate from you now is, one, I just need more scout reps, which I can come by those sometimes. And, like, maybe just be more willing. Maybe I have a fixed mindset around scout. Maybe I don't believe that I can be the carry. I feel like those are exception games. But what if I believed that I could be the carry in the middle of the game? Maybe all that's really holding me back is my own limitations, self-imposed.
Yeah. And hey, not every game you have to be the carry. You know?
No, but I don't even consider it an option usually. I'm like, crap, my 3-hits are struggling. Here's a big difference between you and I will probably fall back, defend them while they get resupplied, and be like, I need them to do better. So I'm going to help them get resupplied and hope they do better this time, and I'll support them best I can. Maybe I should just take the ball and run with it next time. See what happens.
I would suggest trying it.
I don't got nukes. Give me that. I don't need nukes. Give me the ball.
Yeah, you got rapid fire. Close enough.
It's pretty good, man. I love rapid fire.
Gotta love me some rapid fire.
All right, I kind of want to wrap this up soon. So, I guess are there any other talking points that we didn't get to today that you want to talk about?
No.
Cool.
Yeah, we hit on some good stuff. It was fun.
Yeah, absolutely, man. What's next for you? Oh, that's something to end on. Like, what's next for you and your team coming into 2026? Like, how's that going?
We're going to win. We're going to win, baby. I feel like the team is very bought into it, more than even like 24. I think 24, we had some doubts from people on the team. But this year, like everyone's so hungry for it this year, I think especially, which is very exciting. So I'm just very excited. Practice has been so fun, stressful, but fun. I think last night we played, and probably what felt like some of the best practice we've ever had, in terms of like just the game quality and how well people were playing overall. So that's exciting. Yeah, it's nerve-wracking every Nats is, but man, this one I'm very excited, because I think we've got some players who are really gonna ball out.
I love that. I've been thinking like it's probably 3 months away now until I'll do some kind of a power rankings episode.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite episode of the year, frankly. And
those are always good. I love the power rankings. They're fun.
The community loves it. It gets like triple the views. And this is going to be a hard one, man. Like I maybe harder than ever before. We're just such a new sport, like, and it so rapidly evolves as the players evolve. But I gotta say, like, there's a number of factors you guys have working against you, of course. Just being an out-of-town team. I would still say that some of the players that aren't you and Caleb have a lot to prove.
Yeah.
But that being said, like, watching you all play in the practice game against our A team at the end of Random Draw, I told Caleb, like, that was the best I'd ever seen all those players play all week. When you guys come together, like, you are hungry and you're dedicated and there's no ego. You're willing to do what's best for the team. And it is very tempting to place you guys super high just for that. Like, even if you're not the best on day one, a team that works that well together and is that hungry, I'd tend to bet on them figuring it out. So I'm interested to see where I land by June.
That's right. I feel like, there's 4 teams who realistically you could make a case for, like, hey, maybe they're the favorites.
Yeah.
So no, it will be tough, but yeah. We'll see. Who knows? I'm excited though.
And you're betting on you?
I wouldn't say we're the favorites. Like, I think you kind of have to give it to Syracuse. It's a home arena. They have very good players. I will say I am very confident we can win. Like, I really do think we have a very good shot of winning. I think of, like, the teams that are expected to do really well, I think we probably have the least experience. So I think we have kind of that working against us a bit compared to some of these other teams, but that also makes it, I don't know, that also makes it exciting.
Yeah, it makes you the hot, new, exciting newcomer team,
Yeah. Cool. And I'm just excited. Like, our players are trying so hard, like, so hard, and so, yeah. Well, we'll see. I'm excited though. I'm getting giggly just talking about it, but yeah, it'll be fun.
All right, man. Well, I'm gonna let you get back to the gym so you can keep training for Nats.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Go find a horse and pull it out of the snow.
Pull it out of the snow. Okay.
Chop down some trees.
I'll do that.
And yeah, thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate you.
Thanks for having me. It's great.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you for listening to ForceProSports. Subscribe to the channel and get cool perks by supporting our Patreon. Play Laserforce and become part of this era's next great sport.